Hello everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood puppy chaser. So it's that time again. The country is opening back up, people are itching to get out of their houses and go anywhere, and of course they're bringing the dog along for the ride. Today we'll be talking about dogs in vehicles. And when I say dogs, I mean this can pretty much apply to anything that you'd take with you. Cats, even though they'd probably hate you for it, and horses and trailers. Just things to keep in mind. A lot of us have come to find our dogs really enjoy car rides. They like being included in what we are doing, no matter what that may be. Well, that's fine and dandy until your desire to include your dog in everything you do puts that animal at risk. Most of you have heard the spiel about not leaving animals in hot cars, but because we get a lot of calls for this, let's go over it one more time. You can find these super nifty charts all over the internet with one simple search. They differ slightly in their calculations, but you can pretty much get the idea. Cars get hot really fast. There are things you can do to slow down the rise in temperature, but they are not permanent solutions. Giving your dog water, leaving the windows open, leaving the engine running with the AC going, yeah, these are helpful, but they aren't perfect. Let me elaborate. There is a lot more to consider than just the outside temperature. It might only be 70 degrees outside, but your vehicle is a black Honda Civic, and the dog you have in there is a medium-sized Shepherd mix. Even with the windows down, your car is going to get hot a lot faster than, say, a white car, because the dark paint is absorbing the heat instead of reflecting it. Point number 2, the size of your vehicle matters when looking at the relative size of the dog. Think about it. We give our dogs nice cozy dog houses when it's cold outside because the smaller space allows for insulation. In other words, the structure is containing the heat put out by the dog, therefore keeping it warmer despite the chilling temperatures outside. So apply that logic to your vehicle in the summer. The dog is still naturally putting off heat, but your vehicle is trapping that heat while also building up heat from the outside. The heat will build up much faster the more space your dog takes up. This is especially true the more animals you have in that vehicle. What about the breed? Yes, different breeds are going to be more sensitive to the heat than others. That Shepherd mix is more likely to survive those temperatures than a pug. Brachycephalic, aka smush-faced breeds, generally take in less oxygen due to their constricted nasal passages. Boxers, pugs, bulldogs, and Persian cats are at a much greater risk of heat-related medical incidents. So, a pug in a hot car will have a significantly higher chance of dying than the Shepherd mix from my previous example. Furthermore, if your animal is stressed, its blood pressure will rise, breathing will quicken, and the chances of a stroke become increasingly more probable. But I leave the AC on for my animals. While that is definitely the most favorable of the things you can do, it is not always going to be your saving grace. First off, a lot of vehicles will automatically shut off after a certain period of time. If that happens while you are still shopping, your poor animal is sore out of luck. Also take into consideration, a lot of jurisdictions have laws about leaving a vehicle running while unattended. You have to be careful because that might just be illegal where you live. Is it really worth it to bring your dog if you're going to leave it by itself for extended periods of time? Seriously, just leave them at home. So points to consider. Outside temperature, color and size of your vehicle, size and breed of your animal, reason for leaving the animal in the vehicle, time the animal will be left there, and your local laws. Now I'm going to direct my attention away from the owners and address the general public. Stop wasting our time for animals not in distress. It's usually us or local police that get called out to check on animals in vehicles. We don't like wasting our time driving all the way across the county to find when we get there the vehicle is gone on arrival. Look, for the most part, people really do get in and out at a relatively quick pace. Just because a dog is panting does not mean it's dying. I take all the previous things I talked about into consideration when I get a call like this. These cases must be handled on an individual basis. Rarely do we need to break the windows and remove the animal. Most of the time, the owner can be found and the situation resolves itself. Just because you don't like seeing an animal unattended in a vehicle does not mean it is in distress. If the animal is alert, barking, moving around, looking straight at you, it is not in distress. This is an example of said dog not in distress. The person who broke the window was completely in the wrong. So what does an animal in distress look like? This. This is what it looks like. Labored breathing, lethargic, unresponsive. So if you see an animal in a vehicle that is acting pretty much normal, wait for about 10 to 15 minutes. If no one comes to the vehicle, then call police or animal control. Wait with the vehicle. I cannot stress this enough. Don't just call about an animal in a vehicle and run away. If you leave, there's a good chance we're not going to find that vehicle that you're talking about. Please wait there. And if you see that a person comes out and leaves with the dog or whatever, call us back and tell us that. Hey, you can tell your officer to 1022, disregard, they're gone. Don't waste our time making us come all the way out there just to find out you've left, and so has the vehicle that has said dog. And unless dispatch gives you permission, do not break into the vehicle. Wait for law enforcement. We can run tags, try to find out who owns the vehicle, then make the decision to break in if necessary. Civilians should not be taking that action unless given permission. If the dog actually wasn't in distress when you did that, you now have property damage. And if you take the dog out of the vehicle, you now have theft. Please be careful, and please don't do that. It just irritates us. All these dumb little viral videos that say, oh, it's a dog in distress, and if you see a dog in a vehicle, this is what you should do. Absolutely not. That is not what you should do. Your first thing is not to just break into the vehicle and remove the dog. You need to watch, you need to wait, if the animal really is in distress. So if you call dispatch and dispatch says, look, animal control or police are 20 minutes out. If your animal is really suffering and dying, do what you gotta do. If they give you that permission, go ahead. So yeah, between people bringing their dogs with them everywhere and people calling about the people who bring their dogs everywhere, both y'all just get on our nerves, okay? 1, leave your dogs at home. Stop taking them shopping with you. They really don't need to be there. And 2, stop calling when you see a dog chilling in the back seat. Like, totally fine. Stop being stupid. Alright, y'all. Be safe, be smart, enjoy the warmer weather. For now, this is ACO Twiggy calling 10-7. Until next time.